Steve. Hello and welcome to our school. I'm Lucy Travers, Principal of Scoil Céile Creist, Rathmore National School in County Kildare. Nestling in the foothills of the Wicklow Mountains, the village of Rathmore is part of the parish of Edestown in East Kildare, straddling the counties of Dublin to the east and Wicklow to the south. We are very proud of our rural primary school and its close connection to the natural environment. We are part of the Green Schools initiative and have achieved 6 green flags to date with an active Green Schools committee. Rathmore National School is surrounded by native Irish trees and a native hedgerow which forms a boundary between the school and surrounding fields. We have an enviable school garden which provides many outdoor learning opportunities for the pupils and is maintained by our Parents' Garden Committee. All teachers in the school are encouraged to bring their classes outside and use the school environment as an outdoor learning resource. Leaf and garden waste is composted and new planting is carefully selected to encourage biodiversity. Native varieties of trees and shrubs are planted every year to celebrate events such as National Tree Day, Lá na Gran. The school hedgerows are a rich source of learning about native species of plant and animal life. The children's awareness of the importance of preserving our native hedgerows, which support biodiversity, is encouraged through the facilitation of biodiversity workshops by heritage and school experts such as Paddy Madden. These engage the children's curiosity and interest in the plant and animal life present in their local school environment.
Hello, I'm Paddy Madden and I'm here with Des Murta and the pupils of 4th class here in Rathmore National School in County Kildare. And we also have their teacher here, Miss Jennifer Broe. Now, this school is surrounded by a beautiful hedgerow, biodiverse hedgerow with all kinds of species in it, and it goes all around the school grounds. They are so lucky to have a hedgerow like this here. So to explain to the children how a biodiverse hedgerow works, I have a miniature one here in a box. It is a biodiverse hedgerow with many species of tree and shrub and flower. Wonderful for biodiversity and wildlife. So children, how are you this morning?
Good. Well.
Thank you very much. I have a miniature hedgerow here and we're going to do a bit about hedgerows today in your school. So I have a little miniature one here to start us off. Is that okay? And if you have any questions, you can ask me later on. So believe it or not, a biodiverse hedgerow is made up of 4 layers. Would you ever think that? Yeah, 4 layers. Now, you wouldn't think it looking at this, but it is. And at the end of it, you will know that it has 4 layers. So at the very bottom here, we have the ground layer. Do you think many flowers grow in the ground layer? No, because it's too shaded. I mean, the shrubs are shading it and these trees, so not very many flowers grow down there, but it's full of rotting leaves and moss and stuff like that, and invertebrates live down there. Does anyone know what an invertebrate is? Joseph?
An invertebrate is like an insect.
One word.
Quite similar to an insect.
An insect is an invertebrate,
Yeah,
but it could also be something else like a snail, couldn't it? But so one more to explain what invertebrates are. Has anyone one word that'll tell me? Invertebrates have Kieran.
Bugs.
Well, some of them are. The green flies are bugs, yes.
Small insects or something.
I know insects as well. Maybe if we give them a definition. Invertebrates are creatures with no something.
Backbone.
Correct, Joseph. Invertebrates are creatures with no backbone, like slugs and snails and insects and spiders and worms and all those kind of things there. So they all live here, but some vertebrates live here. What are vertebrates? Down there, Adam.
Because of the last answer, I'm guessing animals with a backbone.
And Adam, you are guessing correctly that it's they're animals with backbones, and we have 5 species. We have 5 different kinds in Ireland. From anyone name the 5 vertebrate species? Yes, over there, Roisin.
Hedgehog.
No, but they'd be mammals, right? Creatures with warm blood.
Maybe squirrel.
They'd be mammals as well.
Bats.
They'd be mammals as well. So that's one family of vertebrates, yes?
Rabbit.
Oliver, rabbits would be mammals as well. Mammals are all the creatures with warm blood and hair and give birth to live young. That's what mammals are. Think of creatures that are cold-blooded. Yes?
Reptiles.
Reptiles, yeah. Joseph. Reptiles. And what else, Roisin?
Snakes.
Snakes would be reptiles. And Isla?
A worm.
A worm would be a creature with no backbone. So that's an invertebrate. So snakes would be ones, and birds, of course, would be others, wouldn't they? They have backbones. And what you see swimming around in the sea? Fish, of course, the fish would be. And then you have what you call the creatures that lay eggs in water. Frogs. And one word for frogs and toads and newts. Anyway, one word for all of those creatures that lay eggs in water and are cold-blooded. What about Amelia?
Are they
Yeah, but one word for them all, that family. Are they reptiles? They're not reptiles. Reptiles have scales, haven't they? Yeah. These creatures don't. What about Henry? Yeah, it's a tough question, that one, isn't it? And what about Noel?
amphibians.
Thank you, Noel. Amphibians, they're the creatures we're talking about. So down here live vertebrates as well, such as, anyone name a vertebrate creature with a backbone that lives in the ground layer? Tristan. Hedgehogs. And what another one that lives down there? Hedgehog eats slugs and snails and worms and all those things down in the ground layer. Any other one? Kieran. The bats, well, no, they'd live up here. They'd be going along the top here eating insects. But they use the hedgerows. Alexander.
Or rabbits.
They mightn't go in there because there wouldn't be much grass in it.
Oh, yeah.
But they might be hovering around the front of it. Louis.
Millipedes.
Millipedes would be invertebrates. They'd be creatures with no back. But they would live down there eating the rotting leaves, and so would woodlice as well. Yes?
Hares.
Hares prefer the open fields, running around and eating grass and that, yeah. So they wouldn't be in there, no. There's one creature, the smallest mammal in Ireland, lives down there in the ground there. Eats woodlice and mostly woodlice, but beetles too. Anyone? Fia breed.
Pygmy shrew.
Pygmy shrew, thank you, Fia breed. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah. The pygmy shrew lives down there in the ground layer. And imagine, the pygmy shrew has to eat 1.25 times its own weight every day because it's so tiny. It's the tiniest mammal we have. And then the next layer here we have is the flower layer, second layer. But we don't have many flowers at this time of the year, do we? No, because it's too shaded, too many leaves in it. Now in the spring, when there's no shade, the flowers will come, like bluebells and primroses and bluebells and snowdrops will be in there as well. Won't they be lovely in the spring? They'll come in there, and we will have lots of pollinators in there as well at that time. What are pollinators? Does anyone know? Kate?
They're animals that take pollen from the
Flowers.
and then
Yeah, they take pollen from the flowers and they bring it to other flowers. They look for nectar, don't they? That's what they're in there for. So you'll have bees and butterflies and hoverflies all in the flower layer in the spring. So that's where they will. Now, what's the next layer? The third layer here is the shrub layer. These are half trees, really. But at this time of the year, they're full of berries. Look at the hawthorn full of haws, and look at the spindle, beautiful pink berries on it. Aren't they gorgeous? And they're poisonous, those are. And blackberries, of course, we can eat, can't we? They're in that. And then you have the ivy flowers here in that layer. Look at the ivy. These are just the buds, but they will turn into blackberries, which are poisonous too. But for us, for humans, but the birds love them, of course, and spread the seeds around. Isn't that a good thing? Birds especially love this one. What's that one? Kieran. That's a hawthorn. And what are those things called? Haws. Birds love red. So the birds eat the berry here and love the juicy berry, and then goes in, the seed is inside in the middle of the berry, that goes into the bird's stomach, and it's so hard the bird can't digest it. So when the bird does a poo miles away, what happens?
It plants the seed.
The seed comes out. And if the bird did the poo on soil, what'll happen? It'll grow into a new hawthorn tree. Isn't that wonderful? So it keeps birds fed at this time of the year, and especially the ivy here. Very few flowers in the autumn, but the ivy has flowers. So any creature, any pollinator that's looking for pollen, they look for the ivy flowers. And then the final layer here is the tree canopy. It's made up of trees. That's right. That's an easy one. And who do you think lives up there on the top? Anyone? Teresa? Or Tessa, I mean.
Bats or birds.
Yeah, they fly along the top looking for midges, don't they? Yeah, they do. And Isabella? They would indeed. The squirrels would climb up there indeed looking for nuts. And then we have Ava.
Birds.
Yes, the birds love up there, don't they? What do they do up there, Ava?
Well, they make their nests.
They make their nest high up so they'll be away from predators, and they go flying, and they go to attract other birds. What do they do, which I can't do very well? Ooh. They oh, they sing, which I can't do very well. The birds sing. And then, thank you very much, that's the tree layer. And then, now if I take out all of those beautiful plants in the 4 layers and just grow this here called cherry laurel, right? I wonder what will happen. Anyone tell me what might happen? Just look at it. Isn't it lovely and green, isn't it? Yeah, it is lovely and green. So, what do we see? Oh, we have a lot of hands up here for this one. Donna.
They cover land so people can't see through.
Yes, they'd give you a bit of privacy, wouldn't they? Yeah. Nobody can look into your garden. Isn't that right? Yeah. So you can't see through the laurels because they're, what's the big word for the green lasts on them all year? The leaves. Evergreen. They're evergreen. So that's one thing about the laurel. What's the second thing that'll happen here in this one, Kate?
All the birds, they'll fly away because all the berries on it are poisonous.
The berries are poisonous. Danny, you had your hand up there.
Yes, I was about to say with Kate. Same for all the animals and creatures who live there. They would have to find a new home, and if they tried eating it, they could die. Because
there's nothing here to eat. The leaves are poisonous, the berries are poisonous, and of course the laurel, it shades out all the flowers. Did you know that? So that none of the bluebells and primroses, or none of them will grow because there's too much shade, and the laurel takes all the food from the ground. So it's not. Is it good for biodiversity? No. You will have very few creatures here if you have a laurel hedge growing. So not the best thing at all here. So anyone, maybe Jennifer, you might ask him something. Maybe they might have.
Yeah, thank you, Paddy. For class, we were listening to Paddy talk about hedgerows. Does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask? Yeah.
What might pygmy shrews eat in the ground layer?
What might?
Pygmy shrews.
Oh, the pygmy shrew. What might be doing down there? Well, that little creature, I think I mentioned him, he's the smallest mammal in Ireland for your breed. He is really tiny. Did you ever see one?
I think I saw one in my garden once.
Yeah, smaller than a mouse, aren't they? They love woodlice, millipedes, beetles. They'll eat all of them. They've actually got to eat 1.25 times their own weight every day. Did you know that? It's amazing, isn't it? If a pygmy shrew didn't eat for a few hours, they'd die. They really do not sleep very much at all. They have to eat, 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 eat to give them energy. Amazing creature. They have a long snout. That's the big difference. They go smelling and sniffing in the hedgerow, in the ground layer.
Anyone else have a question? Amelia?
Adam, oh sorry, Amelia said, yeah.
You mentioned catkins in the shrubbery.
Oh, the catkins, yeah. They're flowers actually, but you wouldn't give them as a present to your mammy or your daddy because they're not very colourful. They really are no colours and they've no smell. But they are type of flowers, but they're full of pollen. And it's not the bees that bring pollen from one catkin to the other, it's the wind. So the male catkins have loads of flowers and the wind blows the pollen onto the female catkins and they turn into fruit like nuts.
Adam?
Adam has a question.
Why do some people destroy hedgerows?
Well, I think the reason is that they want to create maybe bigger fields. You know, this hedgerow here, a lot of Irish fields are quite small. And if you wanted to grow a lot of corn, maybe you might knock down the hedgerow. Building houses, you know, they really should leave the hedgerows alone in the housing estates. But sometimes the builders just knock the hedgerows to make more space for houses and gardens. And I suppose the third reason would be for privacy. Some people would look on a hedgerow like this as kind of a lot of leaves. They might just want one species, like laurel here, which is easier maybe to look after, just give it a clip. Okay?
I think we should all say thank you to Paddy, shouldn't we?
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. You've been great listeners and I've had great questions from you about the hedgerow. Okay.